S&S Publications
ఎంతో ప్రతిష్టాత్మకంగా భారతదేశంలోనే మొదటిసారిగా బైలింగ్వల్ రీజనింగ్ బుక్ మన ముందుకు తెచ్చి తెలంగాణ ఎస్ఐ ప్రిలిమ్స్ 2022 ఎగ్జామ్ లో 95% ప్రశ్నలు రీజనింగ్ బుక్ నుండి వచ్చాయని తెలియజేయడానికి ఎంతో సంతోషిస్తున్నాం.
ఇంతటి ఘన విజయానికి కారకులైన అభ్యర్థులకు మరియు శ్రేయోభిలాషులకు ధన్యవాదాలు.
మరెన్నో మైలురాళ్లను దాటుతూ మీ ఉద్యోగ సాధనలో మీకు తోడుగా మీ S&S పబ్లికేషన్స్.
సంప్రదించవలసిన ఫోన్ నంబర్స్ 8070555577 మరియు
9032064822.
అభ్యర్థులందరికీ నమస్కారం. ముందుగా అందరికీ 75వ స్వాతంత్ర దినోత్సవ శుభాకాంక్షలు. స్వాతంత్ర దినోత్సవ సందర్భంగా S&S పబ్లికేషన్స్ వారు అందిస్తున్న భారీ ఆఫర్స్. తెలంగాణ డివిజనల్ అకౌంట్స్ ఆఫీసర్ ఫుల్ కోర్స్ 6 months వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 899 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. తెలంగాణ TRT SGT ఆల్ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ ప్యాకేజ్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 1599 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. తెలంగాణ గురుకుల తెలుగు పేపర్ 1 GS, పేపర్ 2 పెడగాజీ మరియు పేపర్ 3 కంటెంట్ ఫుల్ కోర్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 2899 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. అంతేకాదండోయ్, గురుకుల బుక్స్ అన్ని www.sonlinebooks.com వెబ్సైట్ లో అందించడం జరుగుతుంది. తెలంగాణ గురుకుల బయాలజీ పేపర్ 1 GS, పేపర్ 2 పెడగాజీ మరియు పేపర్ 3 కంటెంట్ ఫుల్ కోర్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 2899 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. తెలంగాణ గురుకుల ఫిజికల్ సైన్స్ పేపర్ 1 GS, పేపర్ 2 పెడగాజీ మరియు పేపర్ 3 కంటెంట్ ఫుల్ కోర్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 2899 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. తెలంగాణ గురుకుల సోషల్ స్టడీస్ పేపర్ 1 GS, పేపర్ 2 పెడగాజీ మరియు పేపర్ 3 కంటెంట్ ఫుల్ కోర్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 2899 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. తెలంగాణ గురుకుల మ్యాథ్స్ పేపర్ 1 GS, పేపర్ 2 పెడగాజీ మరియు పేపర్ 3 కంటెంట్ ఫుల్ కోర్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 2899 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. తెలంగాణ గురుకుల బుక్స్ అన్ని www.sonlinebooks.com వెబ్సైట్ లో లభించడం జరుగుతుంది. మీరు బుక్స్ ఆర్డర్ చేసుకున్నట్లయితే మీ ఇంటి వద్దకే బుక్స్ అన్ని పంపించడం జరుగుతుంది. తెలంగాణ స్కూల్ అసిస్టెంట్ తెలుగు కంటెంట్ అండ్ మెథడ్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 1699 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. తెలంగాణ స్కూల్ అసిస్టెంట్ గణితం కంటెంట్ అండ్ మెథడ్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 1699 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. తెలంగాణ స్కూల్ అసిస్టెంట్ సోషల్ కంటెంట్ అండ్ మెథడ్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 1699 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ ప్రిలిమ్స్ మరియు మెయిన్స్ ఎస్ఏ కానిస్టేబుల్ ఫుల్ కోర్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 599 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. దీనితో పాటుగా ఆర్ఎస్ అగర్వాల్ న్యూ ఎడిషన్ కి సంబంధించిన కంప్లీట్ కోర్స్ వీడియోస్ ఉచితంగా లభించబడును. ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ ప్రిలిమ్స్ మరియు మెయిన్స్ ఎస్ఏ కానిస్టేబుల్ ఫుల్ కోర్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 1399 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. దీనితో పాటుగా 10 బుక్స్ ఉచితంగా పంపించబడును. తెలంగాణ మెయిన్స్ ఎస్ఏ కానిస్టేబుల్ ఫుల్ కోర్స్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 599 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. దీనితో పాటుగా ఆర్ఎస్ అగర్వాల్ న్యూ ఎడిషన్ కి సంబంధించిన కంప్లీట్ కోర్స్ వీడియోస్ ఉచితంగా లభించబడును. తెలంగాణ అంగన్వాడీ ఆల్ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ ప్యాకేజ్ 1 year వ్యాలిడిటీతో కేవలం 1999 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. S&S పబ్లికేషన్స్ యాప్ లో ఎస్ఏ కానిస్టేబుల్స్ అర్థమెటిక్ మరియు రీజనింగ్ లైవ్ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ ప్రారంభించడం జరుగుతుంది. ఈ లైవ్ క్లాసెస్ కేవలం 999 రూపాయలు మాత్రమే. S&S పబ్లికేషన్స్ యాప్ లో తెలంగాణ TRT SGT ఆల్ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ లైవ్ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ అతి త్వరలో ప్రారంభించడం జరుగుతుంది. ఈ ఆఫర్ మీ సొంతం చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నారా? అయితే వెంటనే ప్లే స్టోర్ లోంచి S&S పబ్లికేషన్స్ యాప్ అనేది డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకుని ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ పర్చేస్ చేసుకోగలరు. ఫర్ ఎనీ అదర్ డీటెయిల్స్ ప్లీజ్ కాంటాక్ట్ 8070555777 9032064822.
Good morning students. Welcome to S&S online classes. This is Srinivas, Faculty of Geography. As you know, Telangana government announced more than 9,000 Gurukula posts. This is golden opportunity for all the Gurukula aspirants. Remember, there is no substitute for hard work. Okay, so I am going to explain a topic from geography which will help you in both GS and content. So that is natural vegetation of India. Natural vegetation of India. It is also called forest of India. You see, what are the main highlights of in this particular lesson? Meaning of the natural vegetation. What are the features of the natural vegetation? Area. what are the states have highest forest area, what are the states have lowest forest area, at the same time how much forest required of any land, what are the types of the forest in our country, wildlife protection, our government takes what are the routes protect of the wildlife, and social forestry. So these are the main highlights of the natural vegetation of India. Okay, so already last class we had discussed meaning of the forest and features of the forest, area of the forest. Now we will discuss about types of the forest, types of the forest. So you see, what are the factors influence growing of forest? Yes, what are the influence factors growing of forest is number one, climate. So climate is the main factor of the growing of forest. So part of temperature and rainfall. So these are the main factors growing of forest. So second one, soil. So in which areas are best fertility soils are growing better forest. At the same time, height also, height also one of the factor influence growing of the forest. Understand? So these are the factors influence growing forest. So what are the factors? Climate, soil and altitude or height. So these are the factors influence that growing forest. Understand? So what type of forest in our country? You see, number one, tropical evergreen forest, tropical evergreen forest, tropical moist deciduous forest, tropical dry deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest, mountain forest and mangrove forest. So these are the different types of the forest in our country. Once again I will repeat. So what are the types of forest our country? Yes, number one, tropical evergreen forest. Number two, tropical moist deciduous forest, tropical dry deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest, mountain forest and mangrove forest or little forest. Okay, so first we will discuss about tropical evergreen forest. Tropical evergreen forest. So you see, these are the pictures indicate that tropical evergreen forest. So in this forest growing what type of conditions? In which area recorded high amount of rainfall, high amount of temperature? So these forests are growing. Okay, so in which areas are high amount of rainfall, more than 200 centimeters? Yes, more than, yes, about 200 centimeters of rainfall recorded in which area? So that area recorded in this type of forest. Okay, At the same time, above 22 centigrade of temperatures. Yes. So 20 centimeters above rainfall. So 22 centigrades temperatures above temperature, and high rainfall, high temperatures in which place are recorded. So in that place have tropical evergreen forest. This forest always green. Okay. So this type of forest growing in which conditions? More than 200 centimeters of rainfall and above 22 centigrades of the temperatures. Okay. So at the same time, what are the features of this forest? So main features is this is the thick forest. This is the thick forest. Very thick forest. This is the very thick forest. And hardwood. So these trees, very tallest trees. Yes, tallest trees. Very tallest trees. So more than between 45 to 60 meters of the trees located in this area. Okay. So these leaves are always green. Yes, always green. So at the same time, these leaves are very broad leaves. Okay. So very broad leaves, evergreen forest, thick forest, hardwood. These are the main features of the evergreen forest. Okay. Once again I will repeat. What are the main features of the evergreen forest is very thick forest, hardwood, tallest trees between 45 to 60 meters of the height. At the same time, these leaves are always green. So these are the main features of this forest. So at the same time, you see, what are the plants growing in this forest? What are the plants growing in this forest is, so mahogany, ebony, rosewood, ironwood, piney, cedar. So these are the main plants growing in this forest. Okay. So you see, so this tree is the mahogany. Yes, mahogany. So very tallest trees growing in this forest. Okay. So at the same time, these trees are the ebony. Yes, ebony. So this one also very tallest trees in this area. At the same time, this tree is rosewood. Yes, rosewood, and ironwood, and cedar. Yes, piney. So these are the different plants growing in this forest. Okay. So what are the plants growing in this area? Mahogany, ebony, rosewood, ivory wood, aini and cedar. Okay, so in this type of forest growing in which region? So 0 to 10 degrees both sides of the equator, 0 to 10 degrees, 0 to 10 degrees, 0 to 10 degrees both sides of the equator. You see in South Africa continent, South America continent. So this is South America continent. At the same time, middle part of the Africa and southeastern part of Asia. Yes. So most of this type of forests growing in equatorial region between 0 to 10 degrees. So you see northern part of the South America, main country is Brazil. Okay. At the same time, Congo, Uganda, some of the countries of the middle part of the Africa and southeastern part of the Asia, Indonesia, some of the Asian states. Okay, so mainly in this type of forest growing in which regions? Equatorial region. In which latitudes? Between 0 to 10 degrees. 0 to 10 degrees. In which continents has this type of forest? So South America continent. So what is the main country located in this area? Brazil. Brazil is the main country located in this area. Middle part of the Africa. So Uganda, Congo, Kenya, some of the middle African countries. And Southeast Asian countries like Indonesia, some of the small countries. Okay, so in our country, in this type of forest growing in which states? So you see Kerala, this is the nearest to the equator, Kerala. Okay, Kerala, some of the parts of Tamil Nadu. So these are the Western Ghats. These are the Western Ghats. Okay, so western slopes of the Western Ghats in Kerala. Western slopes of the Western Ghats of the Kerala in this type of forest growing. At the same time, Andaman Nicobar Islands and hills of the northeastern states. So what areas growing in this forest? Number one, Kerala. So which part of the Kerala? Yes, western slopes of the Western Ghats. Okay. At the same time, second is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay. So second one is north. Yes. Hills of the northeastern states like upper part of the northern part of the Assam. Yes, northern part of the Assam and Nagaland, Mizoram and Manipur. So in these areas, in these states having evergreen type of forest in our country. So more state is the Kerala. So in which state has highest plants of the evergreen forest in our country is Kerala. Okay, so this is the evergreen forest. So what type of forest growing in high amount of rainfall, high temperatures? Yes, evergreen forests are growing in high amount of rainfall and high temperatures. So how much rainfall required in this forest? More than 200 centimeters of rainfall required in this forest. So how much temperature? Yes, 22 degrees above temperatures are required in this forest. So what type of plants growing in this area? Mahogany, ebony, rosewood, ivy, cedar. So in which areas growing in this forest? Yes, in this forest mainly growing in equatorial region between 0 to 10 degrees. Okay, so in which continents have in this type of forest? What continents? Yes, number 1 is South America, number 2 is Africa, number 3 Asia. So in which country part of in this South America continent? Yes, Brazil have in this type of forest. At the same time, Central Africa, Congo, Uganda, Kenya, and the southeast part of the Asia, Indonesia, like that some of the small countries. Okay, what areas growing in our country in this type of forest? Kerala, Andaman Nicobar Islands, hills of the south, northeast states of our country like North Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur and some of the areas. Okay, so at the same time this forest also is called selvas. At the same time, largest and longest rivers also rising in this area. So you see, when high amount of rainfall required in this area, rising largest river in South America, this is Amazon River. So at the same time, longest river in the world, that is Nile River, also originating in this area. At the same time, second largest river, Congo River or Jairi River, so originate in this area. So what I am saying? Yes, largest, longest rivers also originate in this area. Why? Because so this area receiving high amount of rainfall, more than 200 centimeters of rainfall recorded in this area. So automatically largest rivers and longest rivers originate in this place. Okay, so these are the evergreen forest. So what are the other features of this forest? So these trees shed their old leaves but get new leaves very soon. So these trees shed their old leaves but get new leaves very soon. At the same time, these trees of forest do not shed their leaf annually. Okay, these are the lofty and very dense forest. So trees reach great heights up to 60 meters. At the same time, yes, trees in this area are very tall and contain broad leaves, very broad leaves. Due to these reasons, tree grow higher, extend their branches like umbrella, So due to these reasons, trees grow higher, extend their branches like umbrella. Understand? So these are the tropical evergreen forest. Another forest is tropical deciduous forest. So what type of conditions growing in this type of forest? In which area growing 70 to 200 centimeters of rainfall recorded, that areas are having in this type of forest. So very popular in this forest, which are the monsoon areas. Okay, tropical deciduous forests are classified two types. So what are they? First one is tropical moist deciduous forest. Second one, tropical dry deciduous forest. Okay, so first we will discuss about tropical moist deciduous forest. So what is deciduous? So these trees are shed their leaves. The trees of forest drop their leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks during the spring and early summer season. Okay, so in this forest, tropical moist deciduous forests are growing in which area recorded to 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall areas in this type of forest are located. So how much rainfall recorded in these areas? 100 to 200 centimeters of the rainfall. At the same time, in this area recorded temperatures are 27 degrees centigrade temperatures are in this area. So what are the plants growing in this area? Yes, so very popular trees are in this area, teak and sal. Teak and sal. So teak is the very proud plant in our country. So this is using for furniture and household purpose. Okay, so what are the another plants growing in this area? Bamboo, shisham, hurra, mahua, amla, semul, kusum and sandalwood. So sandalwood famous for Karnataka. Okay, so sandalwood trees mainly growing in Karnataka. So in which state has highest number of teak plants? And Madhya Pradesh has the highest number of plants growing in the state. Okay, so teak, sal, bamboo, shisham, hurra, mahua, amla, semul, kusum, sandalwood. Okay, so these are the main plants growing in this area. So economically very popular forest deciduous forest. Okay, so in this type of forest are growing in which areas? You see, mainly in our country India, Australia and middle of the USA. So in this type of forest growing in worldwide, so India, Australia and middle part of the United States of America. Okay, so in our country, in this type of forest growing in which areas? Okay, so first one, yes, Western Ghats, particularly Maharashtra. Yes, Sahyadri mountains of the Maharashtra. So at the same time, second one, foot of the Himalayas. So that means Shivalik ranges. And third part is, so you see, first part is, these are the Western Ghats. These Western Ghats calls for Maharashtra Sahyadri mountains. So both eastern slopes of the Western Ghats, this type of forest growing in this area. So at the same time, second is, these are the foot of the Himalayas. So foot of the Himalayas, the separate range is Shivaliks. Third one is northeast part of the peninsular. Yes, northeast part of the peninsular. That means Chota Nagpur, parts of the Odisha and West Bengal. So first one is western eastern slopes of the Sahyadri ranges, number one. Number two, foot of the Himalayas, so that means Shivalik ranges, number two. Number three, northeast part of the peninsular. So particularly Chota Nagpur plateau, parts of Odisha and West Bengal. So these are the places growing moist deciduous forest. First one is western and eastern slopes of the Sahyadri ranges. Sahyadri ranges are the part of Western Ghats. Foot of the Himalayas, part of Shivalik ranges. Third one, northeast part of the peninsular plateau. So that is called Chota Nagpur plateau. Okay, so what are the another features of this forest? Yes, so these trees shed their leaves, particularly summer season. At the same time, these forests again become green when the leaves grow with onset of the rainy season. Okay, these forests again become green when the leaves grow with onset of the rainy season. Okay, so these are the tropical moist deciduous forest. Okay, so this forest, when support moisture for the leaves is not available, so when sufficient moisture for the leaves is not available, after that shed their leaves this forest. Understand? Yes, these are the tropical moist deciduous forest. Understand? Next one, tropical dry deciduous forest. Tropical dry deciduous forest. Yes, tropical dry deciduous forest. So these are the tropical dry deciduous forest. In this forest growing on which type of conditions? In which area recorded rainfall is 70 to 100 centimeters? 70 to 100 centimeters. So this type of forest are grown. So these forests, what are the plants growing in this area? What are the plants? Yes, the first one, teak also available in this area. At the same time, tendu. Third one, palas, khair, red sandal. So these are the prominent plants growing in this area. Teak, tendu, palas, khair, red sandal. These are the prominent plants in this area. Okay, in our country, so what are the areas growing in this forest? Okay, so you see in our country, so what are the areas growing in this forest? Particularly plains of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. At the same time, some of the parts of the peninsular plateau, some of the parts of the our Telangana, yes, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, some of the parts of the Rajasthan. So in these places are growing in tropical dry deciduous forest. Okay, so what are the main features? What are the main features of the tropical dry deciduous forest? So these trees are shed their leaves completely. Yes. These trees are shed their leaves yes, completely. So these trees are shed their leaves completely. Oh, finally, so all the leaves are shed there. Okay, so this is the cause of very high amount of manure surface of the earth. Okay, so vegetation cover is very scanty, low rainfall and overgrazing. Okay, so these are the tropical dry deciduous forest. So what type of rainfall recorded in this area? So how much rainfall? 70 to 100 centimeters. So what is the main feature of this forest? So these trees are shed their leaves completely. So at the same time vegetation cover is very low. At the same time very low rainfall and overgrazing. So this is the cause of so large amount of manure available in this area. Okay. So what type of plants growing in this area? Teak, tendu, palas, kair and red sandal. Okay, these are the dry deciduous forest.
మీ ఉద్యోగ సాధనలో మీకు తోడుగా
మీ S&S పబ్లికేషన్